We are on the draw. Our opponent has mulliganed, and we are going to mulligan. Can't really keep two Tron pieces and then no colored mana and nothing really going on, so. This hand is bad, but keepable. See if our opponent goes to 5. Put back a mine, play Prism on turn 2. Not the worst. Turn 1 Astrolabe. Course. This doesn't really thin, but it does let me play an island next turn, so. Plus I might draw a Prohibit or a Condescend. Well, just gonna jam this Prism in. Don't really care if they play a counterspell on it. Good. Well, they didn't have a Core Skyfisher or a Glinthawk, so see if they drew it this turn. I Trinket Mage. Are they gonna get a Relic and have that card do nothing the whole match? Maybe the Relic will do something. No, they got a land. Fair enough. Boom. Oh, actually worked. Just yelling boom let me draw the tower. Huh. Alright. Play your Great Furnace. That's fine. It's not great. Oh, they already had the Relic, I see. Beginning to do this now. Oh, that was a good draw. Now end of turn I can go Flicker on my Prisms. If they counter, I Flicker again. And then I can set up where I can play Wall. They use their last mana to exile my graveyard with Trigger on the stack, and then I, if I'm ready to get back to Flicker. Let's see if they do anything to try to apply pressure. Huh. Are they just going shields down? Because that would be ballsy. No, okay. We'll see if we draw off of this. I might burn the second Flicker. But having a Flicker in hand helps if they... oh yeah, definitely. Having the second Flicker, or the third Flicker now in hand, means that if I play Wall, and they sack the Relic in response to the Wall, I can then Flicker to try to draw, or to try to get back the Flicker after the ability of the Relic resolves. Relic is so bad. Although, they might have a Scred here, and that would force me to use up a thing. I think I'm going to use up Condescend. Rather than the other Flicker. Rather have another Flicker for the Wall later. Whoa, those are some bad cards. Let's put those away. Do I get Condescend or Flicker? I think I just get Flicker. No, I'll get Condescend. Alright. If they have a second Scred, they get to kill my Wall. If they don't have a second Scred, I get to get my Ephemerate back, which is pretty nice. It's not unreasonable that they have a second Scred, or I guess they could dig for it, because like they're not playing any creatures, and they didn't use a counterspell, so they have to have something in there, right? They bottom topped and then Ash Barrens, huh? That's confusing. If they attack, I'm not blocking. I don't want to get hit by lightning bolt. Bottom, top, do nothing. Interesting. I'm going to get the planes, because I do have an ephemerate coming off. There's no possible way they're going to let... Like, they don't have Scred in hand. We know that. They would have just killed the wall and kept the ephemerate in exile. So they have a Sprite. They know about the Condescend, though. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to Condescend for 3. They'll counterspell back, or play another Sprite. Either way, I am fine with this scenario. Wait, they let the Condescend go? If they had a Sprite, they needed a Sprite response, so I can't flicker and get back the Condescend and cast it again. So they just have nothing? Well, they kind of got themselves there, didn't they? I'm going to target the Prism. So I have an Ephemerate coming off the top from this Prism. And I have this mana floating. Actually, let me just get the Condescend. I can draw my card. Go ahead and Condescend again. And pay 1. Sure. Now we can bottom that and top this. We let the Ephemerate hit the bin, but then we use that floating mana to Ephemerate, getting back Ephemerate, playing planes, and keeping Ephemerate up. Was that a lot of card advantage? I feel that was a lot of card advantage. It was certainly a lot of better usage of my time and mana. Anyway. I don't think I block here. God, Sprite is so bad in that deck. Jesus. So, like, against Delver decks, I hate bringing in Dispel because it doesn't counter Sprite, but it gets countered by Sprite. Here, my counters counter their Sprite, but their Sprite doesn't counter my counterspells. So, it just seems really advantageous for me, as it is. They've been both Muldrifters thus far. That's a bummer for them, but well, obviously Sprite does nothing here, right? What the fuck? I'll respond. Do you have another Sprite? Why aren't you just killing the wall? Okay. This is silly. I don't like how my opponent's played this game so far. I shouldn't have access to the cards I have access to. There's no reason for my opponent to expose themselves like this. Because now I get to go get back Ephemerate, and they're very far behind. I know I'm doing this. Now what do I do afterwards? I think that involves just playing the Trinket Mage, playing the island, playing an Astrolabe, and then ephemerating the wall. If they dig themselves into another Scred, or have an Archaeomancer, they get to kill the wall, but that's still not the worst scenario, because I get to... my ephemerates don't get eaten. I'm going to get back Condescend. My ephemerates don't get eaten unless they kill both my creatures, and I don't see that I can possibly kill both my creatures unless they do have that lightning bolt that I've been playing around. And then find the third Scred. But then they're tapped out, and I have Muldrifter, Trinket Mage, try to draw some more things. Also, They would certainly have used Scred, right? Come on. They're sandbagging Scred. Come on. It just seems so weird to let me ephemerate there. Alright, this is fine. I have to get back Scred instead of something useful. They bottomed off that priority as well. Not blocking, I can tell you that. So we get 2 more astrolabes, and we're digging for teachings, Pulse of Marasa, or the third wall. Preferably we draw the teachings or pulse. Because we don't really want to expose our third wall and have it get eaten by a second main deck relic, but that, again, is also very unlikely. We have stuff to do with our white mana, with our planes, so I'm just going to filter through the astrolabes to cast these astrolabes. And then we're going to hardcast the Mole Drifter. Yeah. We'll play the other stuff later. Yeah. We're just going to play Trinket Mage. And then we're going to play a tower and not do anything else with our mana. Oops. Winning on board, at least. We get to prohibit if they have any ephemerate, but when did they draw the ephemerate? If they had one with the Mole Drifter, they would have used it. So, I don't think they had an ephemerate. They can draw one. I'm not going to counter this. Seems not great. Not an optimal use of my time. They know about the Condescend. So they're not going to play... What? Oh, okay, sure. If they play a relic, I do have to counter, I believe. I can't really let them eat that amount of things. Do you have another astrolabe? Sure. They're tapping mana, and their mana is much more stretched than mine. I'd rather keep my counters rather than just countering their cantrips or their dorky 2/2s. Because at some point I'm going to draw teachings or the third wall or the pulse, and the game will actually end because they won't be able to play another spell without getting it countered. But I do need to find myself a fine sort of spell. Just gonna bash. If they trades, then cool. I don't need to play Dignitary. If they don't trade, then I get my 4 damage in. If they had Pulse Marasa, they'd get back Mole Drifter anyway. So no downside to putting the Trinket Mages in the yard, except that if I need to bounce all their creatures, my clock's shorter. But I have 2 Mole Drifters, so it doesn't matter what my clock is anyway. I'm gonna just play the Mole Drifter. Yeah, this means I can't hold up a big Condescend. I don't think that's that big a deal, though. This is frustrating, but on the other hand, I'm going to be very out of lands very quickly. What's this? Yeah, sure. Countering that would make my win quicker, but... What? What? Sure. They have a counter spell? Sure enough. Alright. We have Prohibit, but... I need to do this upkeep, don't I? Ash Spirit. Okay, I have basic still in my library. Just checking. I have very few lands left, but hopefully we won't draw one this turn. And have my opponent draw another relevant spell. Alright, if they have an Ephemerate hiding in their hand somehow, we could be in trouble. We have bricked off pretty severely, but that is the downside of playing lands. If I just played a 60 spell deck, I would never draw too many lands. Oh, okay, the game's over. I can get Dispel, Teachings, Pulse Flicker. Alright. He's gonna do that at the end of their turn. They bottomed off the preordained, so. Can't do anything about that. My condescend's in the yard, so just let that happen. If my horrors are the bottom 2 cards, I still win, right? Yeah, I 8 and then 12 of them. So we go Teachings, Flashback Teachings. That was not the correct way to tap my mana, but it doesn't matter. I'm just casting my spells. That was very much not the way to tap my mana. I had to draw Teachings eventually. If I had drawn a horror instead of the Teachings, I could also just bounce a Muldrifter, so. What am I worried about? I know they have Counterspell in hand. I guess I'm not worried about anything now that I've untapped, but that could have been gotten if they had if they had ephemerated at the end of their turn. Even that's not particularly true, is it? I'm going to ephemerate the wall. If they scred, they sprite it. They clearly just counter here. It seems pretty obvious. Because they know about this spell. Go ahead and dispel. Alright, so that mana that I've tapped is Ephemerate, Pulse, Cast, Wall. And I think I can handle that. Because then there's just not much my opponent can do to come back. If they ephemerate at the end of my turn, I just flicker and dispel it. Wall. Yeah, this is correct. This is what I planned on doing. Just making sure I'm not misclicking. And now I can get back a dispel. Whee! So I've got flicker plus dispel up. Which means I have double dispel up, if they let me get this back. They do have an ephemerate, and they waited this long? Ha! Alright, what am I worried about by getting back Prohibit and blinking a land? I'll have a Dispel in hand and 2 Ephemerates coming off. I don't think I'm worried about anything, so... I guess I can just get Condescend, huh? That lets me scry to ensure that my bottom 2 cards are not exactly the ones that lose me the game. This Condescend has put in some work of this game. It's getting bored out, but alright. Horror on top seems good. Yeah, if they kill both my walls, whatever. I have to bounce a Muldrifter and try to go off, but... Oh wait, no, I'm drawing 4 cards, never mind. I've got 2 Ephemerates coming off. They can't kill all my creatures if they don't play a very strange card, so... Oh. If I untap, they can't win, so that's cool. Sprite is so bad. Anyway. They are very good. They have 2 cards in hand, so... what? Oh, they're just gonna F6 now? Like, I just bounce the Archaeomancer now and I get to another hand, right? Alright. Go ahead and get a flicker. Go ahead and flicker back a bunch of counterspells. Gonna have 12.5 minutes when we finish this game. Not horrible. Gonna get Prohibit. I'll play my Island. Make this a little bit faster. Wow, I'm actually going to bash them very quickly, aren't I? So they kept Core Skyfisher. Seems beatable. So I'm just going to prohibit that for 2 mana instead of 4 mana like I would the Archaeomancer. Might as well burn some of my opponent's clock. They're more likely to time out when they're down a game than I am. Although who knows if that's true or not. Maybe we go long in game 2 and I end up breaking off and not having enough time for game 3. Probably not. They have lethal damage on board. So I'm just gonna go no, no. Hello, horse. Kabam! 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 Alright. So our opponent's playing sprites, playing Bolt. They've got the Ephemerate Archaeomancer package. Probably don't have that many Ephemerates, but I'd have to guess. They're playing Artifact lands. At least one, but maybe they just play the one to Trinket Mage for. And they're playing a Relic, so maybe they think Relic's good. Ditch Condescend. Keep Dispel for sure. I didn't see any Glint Hawks, right? I'm gonna cut Pulse. Well, Pulse is okay if they don't have multiple relics. I'm gonna put in 8 blue blasts and 3 red blasts. Don't want to add more anti-combat cards. I'm gonna cut the Plains and a Dignitary. Put in the Gut Shot for the sprites. If they have all those sprites, I want Pyroblast as well. But now we're really overloading the deck with some air. How about use Pulse as a very strange anti-combat card. Cut a Flicker. And I'll keep a Moment's Peace in for Teaching Sting 4. Do I just cut all the Dignitaries? Yeah. Yeah. Although they do have Skyfishers. Alright, 61 cards so far. Let's see if we can cut one before they cut down to 60. Pyroblast does seem very good from what we saw, and I think I want all 4. Although if they do have Glint Hawks and they go off with them, it's going to be rough. I'm going to cut the Blue Elemental Blast. If they have something that we want Blue Elemental Blast against, then, well, hopefully we'll make it to game 3. This might be too much against just sprites, but Gutshotting a sprite and them being tapped out is incredibly good tempo. So plus you could theoretically set up a scenario where they have 2 sprites in play. You play a 3 mana play. I don't know. You can get card advantage sometimes by making them sprite their own spell. I'm going to keep this hand. Sounds great. What? I'm pretty sure I have faded there. Sure enough. Go ahead and play an Astrolabe. I do need to hit a land, but if I hit a land, I've got Flicker to target with 2 targets, which is pretty good. Alright, they don't have an Astrolabe yet. They would just play that first, in case they drew into another Astrolabe, or maybe a Glinthawk if they play those. Bottom top. They don't have Astrolabe, so their deck is substantially weaker than usual. Alright, I found one. Well, I'm going to counter that Astrolabe, and I will counter back if they give me the mana to do so. Also, I would pass with mana anyway, because I'm going to flicker my 2 things anyway. What? Oh, are they going to... If they play actual counterspell here and I get to dispel it, it's going to be pretty good. Not going to lie, it's going to be pretty good. Alright, I did expend a bunch of counterspells doing this, which is not great. I drew the... Alright, that's fine. I drew the 3rd mine, but you know, I also drew a Pyroblast, which is going to be quite good here. Hopefully. If they ephemerate their Trinket Mage... do I just play into Sprite by killing the Mage? I think I do, because then I can evoke Muldrifter and ephemerate it. Yeah. If they've got the Sprite, they've got the Sprite. Alright. Hopefully they're tapped down, so I can safely get off the Ephemerate. And Gutshot would have been very good here, by the way. Tap land. Excellent. Alright, evoke a Muldrifter, Ephemerate, and then try to draw into lands. I would love to hit a land drop here. Ugh, that's a bummer. That's a huge bummer. Ditching Horror. Don't really have time for that. Alright, they have double Astrolabe. Getting Relic? Okay. Are you going to eat your own things? Just get an Astrolabe here. Come on, guy. They do have Glinthawks. Okay. We'll need to board differently for game 3. Opponent does put way too much stock into Relic. Getting a Relic there is just insanity, so... Oh. Oh, they didn't have a kill spell. I get to draw my 2 cards. See if I actually hit a Tron piece. That would be so good. Let's go ahead and map, hoping they ephemerate. They didn't. Would have been good. Let's get another color filter in play. I guess we're passing from here. Discarding the plant. Well, our opponent should have been able to do way better things than the things they did, which gives me some level of hope. I'm going to trade here. I don't want to take too much damage. I'm going to have Tron soon enough. For a certain definition of soon enough. Do they have the second Ephemerate? If they do, hopefully I can draw a wall. Oh, no. Alright. My opponent really loves their divinations. And I really love Tron. Tron. Bama. I'm gonna lead with Prism. I am flooding out a bit here, aren't I? But we have some time. Time to draw things and stuff. I'm gonna get Astrolabe and play it, and then probably just pass. Leaving up Teachings for a 1-mana counter. That's not worse. I have basic still. I'm gonna just ditch the mine. Easy blocks. They call me Dr. Easy Blocks. Nothing? Alright. If they counter and then eat my Teachings, that sucks, but that gets a counter out of their hand and deals with a relic. And I've got draw 6 in my hand, so I think we can deal. And obviously, if they don't crack, I can just flash it back. So. Alright, that ate to their graveyard, which means their Archaeomancers are substantially weaker. So, let's lead with a Flicker on 2 things. Drawing the 4th island, very frustrating given I just used the Ash Barrens, but again, we got lots of cards to draw, and hopefully we'll have the time to do it. In which to do it? In which to do it, yes. Do not want to run the wall into their things. That seems like a poor use of my time. Okay, Wall Drifter's good. Let's play a map and pass. My opponent doesn't really have a clock, and also they have nothing to get back with Archaeomancer, and they've already used a Ephemerate and a Mulldrifter, so I'm not fearful of many of the things my opponent can do. Alright, we're just thinning and trying to draw more counterspells. That'll do. Alright. I'm just going to pass. That relic seems like it was way better for me than for them, right? Like they ate 2 counterspells and Ephemerate, and that makes their draws of Archaeomancers much worse, right? Are they going to discard? No. Alright, they're going to play something. Alright, returning Astrolabe almost certainly. Getting back Sprite seems... Excuse me? Alright, opponent. I'll play Teachings. I'll get Pyroblast. I'll flashback Teachings. I'll get a Pulse Marasa. One of our horrors is eaten, and we don't have Condescend, so if horror is the bottom card, we are likely dead, because we also got the research eaten, but... What you got, opponent? What you got, opponent? Nothing? Nothing? I guess my opponent could have a pile of Red Blast still in their library, huh? But if they castle a Red Blast here, well... I guess I'll just go for a counterspell here. If they Ephemerate their Sprite, sure, whatever. Blue Blast? That's quite the sideboard card. Go ahead and get back the Pyroblast. Wait, do I have 2 walls left? Wow, I have a lot of good cards left, huh? Alright. I'll go ahead and counter. If they want to ephemerate, they have to use up their astrolabe, so. And if they just sprite here, sure. What are they going to do? Get back Red Blast and, what are they going to counter here? I don't know. I don't know. I've got one more ephemerate in my library. And then this one flicker. They can't just kill the wall, because then I obviously just pulse it back and play it. Horror was a very good draw. I'm going to play my island. I'm going to horror their land, which basically forces them to Red Blast the horror on the stack. They don't really have an option otherwise. What do I do now? I guess I just pulse back the Muldrifter and then evoke it and see what we draw off the Muldrifter. Oh. Tron is really dumb. Just flicker here. Get back flicker. What can be in my opponent's hand? I think it's safest to do this on wall and get back the second Pyroblast. If my opponent has Sprite, Ephemerate, and draws a counterspell, I don't want to lose to that. Because I'm currently winning, as long as my opponent doesn't rip. I mean, counter. What? Okay. What? Okay. I can assume I can see the attack here if they wanted to just get in damage and burn me out. That's going to be unlikely because I'd be at 13 after eating a Sprite. But attacking with the Archaeomancer is insanity. So, all right, let's see if they have the Ephemerate. If they do, okay, they don't. All right, this should be a guaranteed victory if I don't screw up. I'm going to lead with Prism. This takes him off double red spell. So I Ephemerate, they Scred or a Pyroblast, and I respond with a Flicker, and then I counter their counter. So I don't see how I can lose from where I am now. Huh. What do I get? I guess I just get back Pulse. That's the safest. Do I cast anything? Yeah, I guess I just Flicker. I have the Pulse and the Pyroblast, so not worried about anything here. And now I can draw another wall to lock the game up. Yeah. Just ditching this Moment's Peace. We get to bounce all their permanents the next turn. And I don't see a sequence of cards that kill me here. They have 3 cards and I've got many walls, so... End of turn, go ahead and pulse the Horror. I guess I get a Fairy Macabre, but that, again, that seems very unlikely. Not really worth a consideration. Target wall. Get back the Ephemerate, and then we can bounce all their permanents. And we have Gut Shot. A little bit late on you, but, you know, could be good. Later, in a different game. Against Delver Secrets? I don't know. Sure looks like we're going to be 6-0, right? Now, if I had managed to lose this game, I would be pretty severely down on clock, right? That would be a bummer. How much am I... Oh, they did have a spread and they didn't use it. So their hand is mountain, plains, something. So let's figure out what that something is. The easiest way to do that, well, we'll just target this Archaeomancer. Ditch the plains, huh? Alright. Well, they know about a Pyroblast, right? So. Or maybe they don't. Maybe I use that one. Either way, not attacking, just taking, doing whatever. No reason not to counter here. And then I can ephemerate. Oh, that's a weird sequence, but okay. They know about the ephemerate, so I could just get back the ephemerate with the, or get back the Pyroblast with the ephemerate. Let's go ahead and get rid of the Skyfisher. Have to do it eventually, might as well do it now. And we'll go ahead and get rid of the Sprite, because my opponent's already played their land for the turn. And my opponent has a Skyfisher in hand. Opponent has a Sprite in hand. I'm going to get rid of all their lands on my turn. And I do have enough damage to kill them. So, also, I have Gut Shot. I could Gut Shot them to death. That is why you bring in the Gut Shot. It's an alternate win condition. That's not why you should bring in the Gut Shot. But it is funny. It's very funny. Oh boy. Wee. Bonus playing it out. Maybe my internet dies. It's happened in the past. Fortunately, I updated it on my tablet, and I think I'm fast enough to get to an F6 war after setting up a hotspot if our internet does die. But that is cutting it close. Let's not have that happen. How about that? I think my opponent has Island in hand. Doesn't really do anything. There's no 1-mana spell I care about anyway. Not with Flickers up. Oh, I have even more damage in my library. Chunk ya! And now they're on a 1-turn clock. I can even flicker if they go Mountain Scred my Muldrifter. I can do that without decking. We are 6-0. 6-0. Hail Satan. Excellent. But played kind of weird there, and they had a very weird build. Maybe they only have like one Glint Hawk, or maybe they have one after the board or something. I mean, you gotta cut something if you're adding a whole ton of sprites and have Lightning Bolt and have the Ephemerate Archaeomancer Muldrifter package and play counter spells and have a main deck relic. Like, you gotta cut something. Either way, we're 6-0. The 7th round, we're gonna figure out what our opponent's on and then concede. And that's it. But no, they're on 8. They're on Affinity. I played them last challenge. Maybe. Something like that. Oh, man. They got paired down against the previous opponent of ours and they lost. Or our previous opponent lost. Which means our tiebreakers would be worse if our tiebreakers mattered, which they don't because we're in the top 8. Woo! Alright, we'll see you for the top 8. I'm not going to record this next round. There's no point in it. And, I can't knock my opponent out. And they can't knock me out, and there's no incentive for either of us to play the match. it's substantially better for each of us if one of us concedes immediately, so that both of us can take a break and just chill out for 50 minutes. But, my opponent might not realize it, and they may let us see what they're on. And they will be in the top 8, so knowing what one of our opponents in the top 8 is on is quite helpful.